Brumfield, and I am putting out a book named Golden.
The mic. Listen up!
Graffiti, hip-hop music, DJing. With all those elements, I got into photography. These pictures mean a lot to me because each one tells a story of where I was at during that time. And I think these stories, other people during that time can relate to. I want to share my stories with the people that actually appreciate this art. And that's why I consider this fine art. Consider it to be history. And I want to just tell the history.
Take me out with the fader.
With this careless bump, and in about 3 months, my stomach will be full. Trouble, yeah, something in the hot seat now. Tell my pops, no way, no how. It'll break his heart, wreck his whole world. To have to grow up quick or what? Hey, hey, what's that? Come on, Dad, you little girl. Hey, hey, come on, Dad, you little girl. What daddy don't know on her, man? Daddy, girl. It's an old mic right here. All the fellas, let me hear you say ho! Ho! And all my ladies say ow! Ow! Oh, neighbors that really trust me. Yeah, daddy loves me. Cause I can feel it in his arms strong when he hugs me. There comes a time when the angel must spread her wings. So I bow my head and get deep into the swing of things. On the wrong, y'all love me. Cause mama knew everything. Mama sat home and sang to me, and I regret the day that daddy took me out to play. But I'm a woman now. Hey, dude. Come on, y'all. What daddy don't know on her now? But I'm daddy's little girl. Hey, what daddy don't know on her now? Daddy's little girl. I'm about to get over there, y'all don't know.
Beats, rhymes, y Comunidad. Welcome to yet another episode. As always, I am your host, Jersey City Jeff, and today I am joined by Erik Brumfield. How you doing?
How you doing? Thank you for having me, Jeff.
For talking. Thank you for having me. I mean, here we are at the Keith Smith Gallery, man. I didn't even realize I was going to pull up the other night, man. And I came with G, but it was amazing with everybody here and the environment and stuff like that, man. So thank you for having us here.
And that's what it's all about. It's about bringing people together. That's what hip hop is about. It's about building community.
The funny thing that I noticed is that a lot of the dope people that I saw just being here a couple of nights ago this wasn't their first time.
Right. It's a show that you have.
Everybody has been coming back multiple times, it seems. Yeah.
It's a good thing. Sometimes people want to come in just how you came in today, just like quiet, just to take in the art, to appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then it sort of represents both times, the good times and the times you're just studying, doing your mathematics, with each piece.
One of my first questions was going to be what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because I know there's the book and now we have the exhibit. But you mentioned to me when we were walking around earlier that you've been promoting the book for like 10 years now. So when did the concept of the book first come to life?
I'll be honest with you, it came out when me and Sane used to visit Harry Chiffon in his studio.
Really?
Back in the days, I used to go visit Harry Chiffon and he used to show us his collection.
Yeah.
And I used to tell Sane, I'm like, yo, this guy is super famous for taking pictures, right?
Right.
We should do our own books and we can become famous. Back then, that's what it was all about, is becoming famous. And I was like, yo, how this guy's famous? And I was a little kid, and I was just like, he lived in a loft in Soho. So that was big for me, coming from Washington Heights, visiting him.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it inspired me to be like, all right, and everybody wanted to be in the next Subway Art too. He came out with Subway Art. Shout outs to Martha Cooper also, who I saw him last week.
Yes.
We worked on some things together.
Nice.
And Harry Chiffon. So that was like the hip hop Bible back then. It was basically the first time a publisher put out a book of hip hop graffiti.
Okay.
So back then, the writers were like, yo, how can we get on graffiti Subway Art too, and we used to visit. So that's what put the concept together about me putting together a book.
Yeah.
And then that's how I started taking pictures, was really through graffiti.
Right.
I was taking pictures of Sane's work, Smith's work, my work, other graffiti artists that we love, like John 156, the Tap Crew, shout outs to Bino, CLD, Wayne Crew, TDS, the Death Squad. So these are crews that we used to take pictures of and make our little black books and make our photo albums. So that's how it started. What worked with me, I just had a theme already.
Yeah.
And this is just my story of my life.
And like this piece here, it's like Old Dirty Bastard wanted to leave the video set so bad because he didn't understand when we were finished shooting, we had to break down the camera. You see how your camera is just, we actually had film. We're shooting film back then. There's no such thing as that.
Right.
So that took time. You know, it took a whole crew to change the film, you know, and to transfer and stuff like that. And the Wu-Tang did the.
How were you brought on to this project?
Well, basically, I worked with Diane Martel. I was her assistant, working with her. Then I became a treatment writer. I was writing her treatments for her.
Wow.
And I was getting a piece of the budget back then. So I was like her head right-hand assistant, basically. And she taught me everything, how to frame, how to crop. So I give a lot of respect to Diane for teaching me about cropping, because when she cropped the frame, she said cropping is about everything because it really makes the star about how you crop. So that's how I learned how to crop my frames. And each one, I was thinking about being like the hip hop Gordon Parks type thing. So I was like, I wanted each frame to be perfect, each shot to be perfect. As you see, the difference, these shots are like, they're all kind of looking at me compared to like some other photography, more like maybe like a paparazzi style. This one right here, this one's called Young Run. I did this in LA, and it was for a video called, he featured a video called Why Are We World So Cruel? Yeah, World So Cruel featuring Flesh and Bone. So I had a chance to work with him. I was usually in charge of talent, so right where he's standing, the director marked the spot where she wanted to run, and we're actually framing the picture. He's actually performing right here. So she said, I need him to perform right here, so we got the perspective of the alley. This is downtown LA.
So these are video shoots for like music videos,
Yeah, these are
right?
music video shoots. And,
Love it.
I'm there, I'm there with them. I had to go get him, and when I went to go get him in his limo, he was with his wife.
Yeah.
And I think his wife, still today, was a beautiful young lady. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It's an amazing show.
Oh, thank you so much. And his wife was beautiful, and then so when I went to go grab him, I was kind of like, I stared at his wife, like I was in awe. Like, you know, so that's why I was like this, I was like, you know, like a young kid. And he kind of saw me look at his wife. He was like, yo, wake up, kid, wake up. Yeah. So I was like, oh, yo, my bad. I was like, my bad, right? And I said, hey, I got, come follow me. Well, you know, we're ready to shoot you. So he follows me. And he's looking at me like, he's a little punk looking at my wife, you know, so like that. I got up, so I'm sitting here, and I showed him about your spots right here, and I'm like standing like right here next to him, and the camera's over there, so they're, you know, getting him in focus. And I said, hey, you mind if I take a shot of you? And he said, yeah, all right.
Go for it.
I just went for it. And I think this was actually, these black and whites were taken by Olympus OMG. Old school, so I focused it, took the picture.
And the unique thing about these is that they're printed on steel. Talk a little bit about the decision to do that.
Well, that was actually inspired by the gallery herself. Before we were going to just do large prints, and then he gave me a call, and he said he saw prints on steel that thought would be amazing, and a different touch to the gallery and to the show, and I thought that was a great idea.
Right.
So basically, and it's never been done before. I've never done it before, and I wanted to do something different. Since I was going to be the headliner of the show, I wanted to do something different than just having them in the frame. So first thing was getting them printed on steel. Shout outs to Priya Sinha.
What would you describe as being your like earliest memory of Comunidad?
Once again, I think that comes from graffiti first, because we all had crews, and that crew gave you some type of status in the streets. So that meant something back then. Like, I'm allowed. I got like a made man gave me permission to put up their crew where there's no denying it. It was like no faking it. It was just like, yeah, I'm officially down. So I think
That was the first way. That was the first thing. The music aspect, I think that was part of the community also, where it's the first time you actually feel the same feeling you get as being an MC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you drop a certain record.
Yeah.
Back then I was dropping, one of the first DJs that played Dot's Effect, They Want Effect. Imagine and playing that bass line. Doom, doom. You know what I mean? And they were like, oh. And I think that's what I got really in love with, like, the game and collecting records. And I got into downtown DJ market with Stretch Armstrong.
Salute to Stretch Armstrong, by the way. I think he's actually going to be at this screening, at this Fabulous screening for the documentary.
Yeah, a lot of people actually going to be.
Yeah, I'm sure you must have spent a lot of time at Fabulous, no?
Absolutely. Yeah. We used to get our records there. A lot of DJs back then. Every Friday we used to go to the record labels, and they used to give us records, and that's how I met Bobby. Bobby used to give me records, so he gave me Slam he gave me Georgia Guns Up in the Air for the first time. He gave me Redman Tonight's the Night first.
Yeah.
So he's like, and he knew I was DJing with Stretch, so he was like, here, break these records for me. He was working at Def Jam at the time, doing street promotions. I had classic DJs doing the opening night for us. And that's part of the golden movement. Always having a classic DJ like a Redler, Kid Capri, 100%. Give us that feeling. So that's what this whole thing is about righteousness, good times, and taking the good times and taking it international. That's what we're trying to do here at Golden.
There you go. Lead the people to the water, man. Let them know where they can find you, man. Speaking of shout yourself out.
Oh, absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at 1212 Eric B. We are the Golden Group. On Instagram also.
Can we get the book? Is there?
There's a link at the book. Instagram book also is Golden the Book. That's on Instagram also. It leads you to a link where you can purchase the book. So you can get that also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for joining me, man. Please, Ramsey Comunidad, Eric. We at the Golden Exhibit, Keith Smith Gallery, LES. We'll see you next week, man. Peace.
This new record store. I had a grand opening. It wasn't this amazing idea. The whole record store, it was the lack of record stores, which made Fat Beats open up, especially in hip hop. Because I knew the pain. So I was like, we can make this place the last stop. You don't have to go anywhere else. You just come here and get all your hip hop. Fat Beats, the last stop for hip hop. On 9th Street between 1st and 2nd. Basement wasn't being used at the time. As a storefront, it doesn't have the visuals. They gave it to me for like $300. The rent being that low, I can survive for 4 months to see if this is gonna work. And that was the idea.
So how did y'all feel seeing it for the first time?
That was dope. I've only saw a rough cut that didn't have all the bells and whistles. It looks great to see the footage and then also just see the names attached. See Rob up there and then have Rob Swift's name. And I'm watching this and I'm just thinking like how we just really we transformed all of this into our livelihoods. You know what I'm saying? It's like especially like when Rob and them were talking about. And Babu were talking about turntablism and the scene. Rob started out as a backbone of someone else. You know what I'm saying? He was the DJ for Akinelli. You know what I'm saying? Like Rock Raider was the DJ for Show and AG. Sinister was the DJ for Common. That was kind of the expectations of what you had back then.
Glad I get to say this again in front of Joe. I graduated in 1996, and that day, Joe, you mailed me a check for $500, and it was a royalty check for a VHS 30-minute documentary that John Carluccio, who's also in the film, directed and filmed called Exercise. And it was basically a 30-minute X-Men documentary. And Joe's check from Fat Beats arrived in the mail the day I graduated college. Then the day after that, I got my degree. I got my degree from Baruch. So I had 2 pieces of paper, right? I had my degree from college, and I had this.
Rob Smith was just on the turntable, so don't come on here and you only been spinning for 3 weeks. You know, so the DJs that would get on were really good. You know, a lot of them surprised me. And it's funny because I opened up in July, and we developed such an aura with the DJs that it was October of that same year where we did the first DJ battle. So it was right there, and if you see, you know, it's on the video, like to me at least, all the hot DJs in New York were part of the scene. They were there at that time. You know, and you see those are all the first images of the store. So very, very thankful, and I'm grateful that I was able to take it this far and also do the deal with Rostro Pacific and be able to see the company still keep going, you know, on a different level now. So I'm very happy about that. Beautiful thing.
Mr. Wall, it's 1994. That means Into the Stage was out.
Then the first thing I realized was, you know, these are some messed up steps. I know I'm gonna fall down these steps.
Accident waiting to happen.
But you know, when you went in, it was like, yo, it was straight hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't like Fat Beats because you couldn't steal from them. The stairs was an absolute trap, so I didn't like it.
You were not getting away.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Yo, that's the one thing I used to tell people, yo, Fat Beats was the only store I never stole records from. Every other store I stole records from. Fat Beats, I respected them so much, I was not stealing no records from them. You know what I'm saying? But Fat Beats, the good thing about Fat Beats was when you walked into Fat Beats, it was hip hop. And you wasn't that, yo, I mean from TV, you know what I'm saying, this and that. Nah, you was watching Koi Sojer.
Surgeon General of Chilltown, New York, has determined that the sounds you're about to hear can be devastating to your ear.